everybody. Happy Father's Day to everyone who is a dad. I think today is a beautiful, significant day. I think dads and moms obviously deserve tons of credit. So I give all the dads a big shout out. Now, obviously, I have been emotional all day, so I'm not going to even try to front and sit here and say I haven't. I just have, for many different reasons. But this morning I always have this like duality of emotions because on one hand, I'm so grateful to be a dad. I love my kids with all my heart. Like being with them is such a reward and it just is, I don't know, it's just beautiful to have your own children and they just get, everything that I have all the time. So I'm always grateful to have my babies. But as even at 30, I still feel like I wish I had my dad. You guys know I don't know my biological father. And so for me, my dad has always been Charles and always will be Charles. He raised me. And, this morning I made this picture. I posted it for pretty much everywhere that I have social media. And I just kind of felt like I know I'm not the only one that's missing their dad today, you know? And there's all kinds of different circumstances why someone doesn't have their parent. But I just know there's a lot of people who are hurting. But when I made that photo, for me personally, I just feel so robbed of a life that doesn't feel like it should be complicated. Like my dad should be here and he's not. And so I think that that's why it's like it just I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I just miss him and I just feel overwhelmed by the fact that he's not here. And I made this picture. I'm sure you guys have seen it if you saw my social media um, post, but I made this morning. Let's see if I can make it bigger that way. Turn it this way. And it's just an AI picture of a picture I had with the girls and just with my dad, Tylee, and JJ added. And when I posted, I just kind of felt like, how in the world am I making a photo that's AI, that's not even real, and yet why does it feel like it's not even like that? It's like two different worlds have happened, right? It's like, how in the world am I making this picture that's fake, and yet it's not supposed to be fake? Like they should all be here. And so I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard day. It's just like Mother's Day. It comes with a complex of emotions. Obviously, though, I don't have the same love and care for Lori the way I do for Charles. And so missing him is a very real thing on Father's Day. I've gone into these last few years as a dad, just trying to really be aware of like what kind of dad I want to be. And, I know I'm not a perfect dad. I always feel like I'm missing the mark. I'm always trying to figure out ways to be better. And, just as a person, you want to give your kids the best. Like you just genuinely want to. But my heart was also burdened by the fact that I know there's a lot of people, like some of you right now in the comments, who just don't have your dad. You miss him. Or maybe you just didn't have a dad that was a good dad, but you still feel the weight of the day. And so I just kind of wanted to acknowledge everybody in this video. I just wanted to make sure everybody understands that, we're all going through different things. And Father's Day can either be a great day or it can be a sad day. I tried to make it, it's bittersweet for me. I'm grateful for the time that I had with my dad. And I take the lessons that I did learn from him into my life. Um, and that's the good part. And the sad part is he shouldn't be gone. He should be here. But also I want to say that it kind of always brings me back to the number one lesson. I feel like I have made so many videos about this topic, and it's just because I experienced it in the worst way. But I think it's very important that we start to really just, again, just soak in the moment. Like we are so quick paced, and I was in that mode today. I feel like I was just kind of like overwhelmed, and I was just kind of not in really, enjoying the moment. And it's like I'll never have another Father's Day with my kids with these ages ever. That will never happen again. They will never be this age and have this Father's Day. So now that this Father's Day is over, there's next year. But next year is not promised. And I don't want to sound like a downer, but I just also want to give you like how my head works with that dose of reality is there's never guarantees you're going to be here yourself or that someone you love is going to be here. And so I think I always just come back to the one simple thing is like just soak in the moment, man. Just enjoy what you have when you have it. Because The Office has this quote, and Andy says, "I wish you knew that you were in the good old days when you were in the good old days." And it's such like it's a bar, right? It's like at the end in this comedy, but it's so real. Like you don't know that you're in the good times when you're in it. And you look back at that and you look back at these pictures and you look back at these things and you think to yourself, I wish I could experience that again. I wish I had that again, especially when you lose someone. Um, and so yeah, it's just a complex of emotions for me today. But I just knew in my heart I'm not the only one that's missing their dad today. So I just wanted to acknowledge everyone here and just let you know, like, it doesn't birthdays, all these things kind of had this like a notion that we kind of have in our heads where it's like this is supposed to be happy and you know this is supposed to be a good day. I'm supposed to enjoy this, blah blah blah. There's no real way on how to do life. If you have a manual, please pass it to me. I'd like to be a recipient of the manual of life. So I would really enjoy that. Thank you. But for me, I always have ups and downs. Like on my birthday, on any day that's significant, on anything that is hard or good, I always immediately miss people. And so, I just felt like I wanted to acknowledge everybody today. I want to acknowledge the dads. Dads are very important. I think dads and moms are equally as important. I don't think you can really go without one. And so it's really important to just give dads a shout out. Like for me, understanding a lot of how men suffer emotionally and mentally. um, I think men really don't know how to carry their feelings. And I think that men are a lot of times just the rub dirt on it and keep going. And just as a dad, I don't want to teach my kids that. And it's because it's so much better to teach your kids, especially young men. Like for my son, I always think to myself, I want him to understand how to be emotionally responsible and to feel that his emotions are not a burden or some kind of unmanly thing. It's crazy. So I guess today for me is just some very multi-layered. That's all. And go back and forth. It's just it doesn't ever change. Time never really gives you the peace. It just kind of gives you distance. So for me, I feel like time is just, I don't know, part of it. Just keeps life just keeps going on, but it doesn't change the circumstances. So like I'm 30 years old and I still wish I could go and talk to my dad and just, I mean, they're so stupid. Sometimes I feel like the stuff I miss isn't, it's not like I'm looking for advice or, I just would want to talk to him about something I saw. So like things like that, like a movie, or I know he loved this show or this snack. Like, I don't know. It's crazy, like the type of stuff that you think about. But my other responsibility on top of my own is to try to let my kids understand how grateful I am to be their dad. And I take that responsibility very seriously. And it makes me feel like I have so much that I want to keep learning and growing in as a dad. And today for me specifically, it just kind of marks a time for me to be grateful that I am a father and that I want to be a better father. And the only way you can do that as a parent is for yourself to get better. You have to focus on yourself. And I used to think that was selfish, right? Like how much time it takes to not in the sense of like neglect others for you. What I mean, put your oxygen mask on is something I always preach. And it's also for me because I can only go as far as, you know, I look really twilighty right now. I did not realize how dark this room is. I really gotta go get my lights. Sorry, that's such a side note. But I look really, it's really dark in here. I really know I need to go get my lights. Um, but I just feel like my kids just really need to know how loved they are. And I just want to teach them emotional regulation. I want to teach my kids, um, because it's different. Like for my boy and for my girls, I think it's a different type of lesson in life because we have different struggles and women and men like face different things in different ways. And so I'm like, as a dad, I want to know how to teach my daughters the right way. from a man's perspective as a father, and then same thing for my son. I want to teach him all the things that I didn't have. I think the number one thing I think about is just emotional regulation, self worth, and that goes for my girls as well. But I don't know. I just feel like I'm trying so hard to think about the best course of action. And so, thank you guys, by the way. Thank you for saying Happy Father's Day. It means a lot. This might be the first time, and this might sound crazy, but because my oldest, she's 7, and I don't know. I feel like the first time I just really feel like a dad. I don't know how to explain it. It's a different kind of feeling. Um, I've always been a father, like more of a figure, but today I don't know. It just kind of really sat with me. Like it's a big responsibility to be a dad, and it's just it's like the most important job being a parent. It just is. You're raising the next generation, and they're gonna face a whole nother thing, like a whole nother world than what we even are ready to teach them. So unless we teach them those, good lessons, because you can't prepare for everything. But you teach them how to do the basics, emotional regulation, self-worth, self-love, self-discipline, all those good things. Then they can at least have the best chances at whatever life throws at you. You know? Um, but I try really hard. I really do. I really do. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's so great for us all. It doesn't even apply to kids. There's two ways to go about your emotions. One of them being you have them. You can't ignore them and can't pretend that you're not. So some people numb themselves, they turn off their emotions or they drown them out as if it's not um like you just reject that you have emotions. It's not a cancer. It's part of your life. It's how God made you. So if you just stop trying to fight that you have these feelings and stop trying to numb yourself, then you get to facing them. And then it's just like, what are these? And then it gets overwhelming for most people, including me. And you think to yourself, how am I supposed to deal with this? And then you get past that point to just slowly, it's compartmentalization. It's one thing at a time. My therapist said when we first started, I'm gonna let you in on our conversation a little bit, but she said, "You have the most trauma I've ever seen." And I'm not saying that to discourage you, but I think that you need to understand that this is like a damn wall that is so pent up, and you're gonna have to let water out at a little bit of a time because you're just that flooded with trauma. And she's talking about from being a kid to now. So I guess my thing always comes back to like, what are the lessons for me today? One, if I were to share something with you, which I think is beautiful because we have community, but one thing I would say is take care of yourself. Make sure you're okay. Make sure you understand how to deal with yourself and your emotions. It doesn't mean you can't parent. It just means that you can't give everything if you're getting nothing. You're an empty cup. And I always take that from the Bible because an empty cup cannot pour in anything. You don't have anything. There's literally no water in your cup. How can you give someone else water? It doesn't make any sense. And then on top of that, it's okay and unselfish to actually learn how you function because everybody is just thrown into the world and you just have to figure it out, right? So there's the sink and swim kind of thing. But our society is not doing us any favors. So unfortunately, it takes a lot of work to understand normal because there's no such thing as normal. Like, let's just be honest with that. There's no such thing as normal. And the problem is we all try to get to these 2 points that I think the world always tells us. Be happy, which what does that even mean? It's subjective. And two, you want to be normal. You don't want to be an outsider. Well, there's no such thing as those two things. Being happy is subjective, and it usually comes from being truly happy, which is understanding your life and understanding your value and your worth and feeling love and feeling God's love. That's how I interpret being happy because circumstantially you can have everything you want and be unhappy. That's very real. And then two, we're not taught how to deal with our emotion. I mean, gosh dang. You go to school to learn how to do algebra. You can learn a different language. Those are all great lessons, but we're not taught 101 of human beings. And I think the 101 of human beings is like, dude, we're all out here feeling so similar, but no one's saying it, right? No one's talking about it. No one's talking about their struggles on a regular basis. We all kind of just have this like water off our back, but at some point your back starts to break. You just get too overwhelmed and you can only go so far. And we have such a stress and anxiety epidemic, and the suicide rates are so high. And so I just share these messages on a consistent basis for those reasons, because why aren't we having these conversations? Like, it's okay to be really hurt that you don't have somebody in your life, and it's okay to feel that it's unfair, and it's okay to be overwhelmed, and it's okay to have anxiety, but at the same time we want to get better. So what are the first steps to do that? And that's kind of how my brain works, is I want to help people in the best way and just help them process and go through all that stuff. So I think I hate watching people suffer so much. I don't know. It's just it's horrible. It's horrible because we're not set up for success. And on top of that, we have to not let our emotions completely control us, because we are emotional beings. And if we're always in our feelings, and feelings can get skewed, we can feel very differently moment to moment. So we have to be very careful on, what does it look like to be emotionally regulated? What does that mean? Well, it means feel your feelings, but don't make all your decisions based off of the feelings that you're having. That's emotional regulation at its finest, because that is going to get you into hot water. If you're really pissed off and you make a really bad decision because you're pissed off, if you do the same thing because you're super down and depressed, those types of decisions are not going to go. So every day we have to just accept it. And I think one of the things that I always try to do in these situations, like right now, it hurts to accept the fact that I know that today should have been a family gathering with a ton of people. There should have been a huge family. They got together and celebrated Charles as a dad, and even myself. And I never had that. Like, I had Riley, and I never had a Father's Day with my dad, like, where we're both dads. And it's just like the simplest thing for most people. It's like everybody got together today, and dads opened their cards from their kids, and you got to share that moment. And I don't know. That's just like, that just isn't the reality for everyone. And then I always also, like, again, I want to go back to one thing I said. I just want to acknowledge everybody who doesn't have their dad at all, whether it was absent. Again, I understand the same. I'm in the same boat in that way. I've never met my biological father, and it's okay to feel like you. It's okay to feel like maybe you even felt rejected by them. I mean, obviously, everybody wants to feel loved and accepted. Nobody wants to feel like they're not loved. And again, whether your biological father was there for you or not, that does not change your worth. Them not being there for you doesn't mean you were not worth being there for. And that's what I mean, is it's really all oxygen mask to this person, because whatever the circumstances were, most of the time, parents that are absent, I don't know. That's not on you. It's not the kid's fault. And that's the problem, is we as people take on other people's stuff as if it was us. Oh, I'm unlovable. Oh, I'm, whatever you think in your head. You're not good enough, you're not lovable, all the things that come along with it. And it's just not true. If somebody wasn't there, you know, if you didn't have a father, that doesn't mean you don't deserve to be loved. But again, I think a father really does provide something different, that, not saying moms can't, because again, I also had a single mom for a really long time too. And I have so many perspectives on this, so I'm trying to make sure I don't get too jumbled up. But I think that a father just has a God-given place in the family. And I think fathers are really important. And we're at a time where it's like one of the most fatherless generations. And, we're at a really high point where dads are just absent. And I know I want to say this not to try to sound better than anybody, or that I know what's going on, but I can't even imagine abandoning my kids. Like, I can't even fathom that. I can't fathom um, me being comfortable and then being uncomfortable. Like, I can't fathom being alive and not giving my kids everything I've got, especially when they're young and they really depend on you. And then as they get older, you still want to be a staple for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not something that goes away, you know? So again, I just want to bring it back to that point though. It doesn't mean you're unlovable, because your dad wasn't there. If he was someone who ditched you, that doesn't mean that's your fault at all. Um, no matter what you did, even if you did something that you think made your dad go away, it's not true. A lot of times, people are human beings who have tons of flaws and they don't know how to deal with stuff. And a lot of people are so hurt by their own life and think they're such pieces of crap that they don't give that to the kids because they don't think they're even worthy to have a kid, or they're just like, it just it's sad. It breaks my heart because it's not a mere reflection of the person who doesn't have the dad. The dad is going through their own things and it's not a reflection, but it feels that way. I had a really bad dad before Charles. And, you know, I was really very standoffish with Charles. I didn't like that my mom was dating. I didn't want another dad ever. I was cool if I never had a dad. And stepdads can be hard in general. But, my stepdad before Charles was just a really bad guy. And he treated me horribly. And just having Charles come in, I was so standoffish. I didn't want my mom to be married again. I felt like that was dangerous. I didn't know what Charles was going to do. And, you know, I would say pretty quickly, I felt comfortable with him. And then within, I don't know, maybe a year, I was already, he was my dad. I called him dad. I never separated him from that. I never thought about, having a biological father versus Charles. He was my dad. And so, I've experienced a lot of these different roles, which is why I feel like I talk about this stuff. So I don't know. But today, obviously, I carry such a gratitude as a father myself and having such beautiful kids that I just am so in love with and I'm so grateful to have. And I don't know. And then I have the sadness of missing my dad too. So it's okay. It's okay to have the duality. It's okay to be up and down, and it's okay to be emotional on days like this. It's never going to be easy, especially if you lose your dad. You're going to remember it every Father's Day. I don't think you can get over that. And not to say that it has to traumatize you, but there's something beautiful. Andrew Garfield said something really beautiful about his mom. He said that his tears are unexpressed love that you would have given, and he loves talking about her. And I think when you miss someone like that, you understand exactly what he means by that. Like you it's hard to talk about them, it's hard to bring them up, but at the same time it's a beautiful thing, you know. Yeah, I'm sorry, Christy. I'm sorry, and I know I that's why this video's here, because I know for everybody today was not about cards. And for me, I had both. I had such a high with my daughters and my son, just spending time with them, them making you little cards, things you'll cherish and love forever. At the same time, I'm like, I wish I could see my dad. I wish we were meeting up. And when I made the picture today, I don't know, it hit a different way. I don't know how to explain it because I don't do that often. I really don't have a lot of pictures like that where I've actually integrated all of us together. I think it's because of the sentiment that, number one, um, it's not real. Not that I don't love the idea, but on top of it, I really do have a place of respect and love for them being gone. And so I don't want to add them into every picture just because I feel like I don't know. It's a complex thing. It's like you don't want to, it's not that it's disrespectful. I don't know how to explain the word. But anyway, today I made that picture and I just kind of stared at it after I put it together and I thought, I don't know, that's just so weird that it feels like I have two completely separate lives and that was it, like, combined. And that should be the reality. It's not like this mansion idea, this $1 million mansion on the hills that I'm like dreaming of, that's like this fantasy. Like, no, this existed. Like, I had that family with that dad and those siblings, and now I have these kids, and like none of it was ever at the same time. This doesn't exist together. So so I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to feel so much complexity. But I just want to, again, I think for me, it's always about encouragement for everybody. I love you guys. Just because you didn't have a dad, that doesn't take any value away from you. You are still loved and important. And we have to heal our wounds, even if it was we were wounded by someone we've never met, or we did meet and they hurt us too. You know, we're still responsible for what our lives turn out to be. And that's just the reality of it all. We don't get to blame stuff. We don't get to blame the world. We don't get to blame people. I don't get to sit here and blame Lori. And she took Charles. But at the end of the day, it happened. So that doesn't matter. It is her fault. It doesn't change the fact that he's gone. And the same thing goes for my siblings. And I don't ever say that ever to be, hardcore or anything. I say it because what happens for a lot of people is they can't accept it. They can't accept that this is what reality is. And at the same time, you're setting yourself up for hurt and more regret and more pain, and you just don't get to heal except for radical acceptance. I say this all the time. If that is not the most important thing in the world, because nothing else can give you the understanding that it just will never change no matter how much you wish it. You could sit on it for the rest of your life and it will never change what happened. And so now for me, my gratitude is I get to try to tell my family stories, including my dad. And I know people have their view of him, but I would like for people to get to know him. And I've saved all of those stories. I really have. I've saved my sibling stories. I've saved my stories with my dad for a documentary because it does them real justice. You know, it does them real justice. I think you're asking, what are you most proud of as a dad for me? And I don't know. I don't know. I'm most proud of, I think I have a very sensitive side to my kids. And I think that that's the thing I'm most proud of is I have a lot of sensitivity, but I also have a very understanding of like allow my kids to fail in a safe environment. Like my daughter's 7 and she's so smart. She's so amazing and I'm allowing her to learn lessons in the home so that way if she fails or feels like she's dumb, I can be there to talk through it with her so she understands the difference between I made a mistake and I am a mistake. I'm getting emotional. But as a dad, that distinction is such a big deal. And I feel like I'm trying to give my kids this understanding so they don't get hit by, the fly swatter when they get out of the house. Like that's what happened to me. I was so unprepared for everything. And I don't understand how you fail your child like that. I'm sorry. I don't understand how you don't help your kids. At least if they don't understand something, will know to where to go to get answers and to never feel stupid for asking questions, even if it's the 50th time. You know what I'm saying? Call you and say, "Hey, you've taught me this. I forgot. Can you re-explain it?" And it's like riding a bike though. Like I'll teach you how to do it and we'll keep doing it till you've got it. But if you ever forgot, I'm just gonna call you and help you get back on the bike. It's the same thing. And so for me as a dad, I really put my energy into that and trying to be soft and loving and understanding, but also stern in a good way. Like knowing what they can handle and what they can't, and being willing to push them a little bit further than they believe they can, and not letting them limit their own minds and say, "Oh, I can't do this." It's like, I heard a quote by Matthew McConaughey that just perfectly summed up what I'm trying to do. And his dad says, "Don't ever say you can't. You're just having a little bit of trouble." And I straight up, I was like, I stole that from him, but I'll always give him credit. When he said that, I thought, this is so important. Like, my kids should know, don't say you can't. I don't want you thinking that way. That's just not true. It just is not going to work the way you're doing it. So let's find a new angle. It's not that it's impossible. It's that We just have to figure out the one thing that does work. And I always liken that to like video games. Back in the old days, when I was growing up, at least, there wasn't like video games that came with like easy, medium, hard. Usually you just got the game and you played it. And so you play the game till you beat it. And it's like it doesn't matter if you failed 100 times, the one time you finally beat it, you beat the game. You don't go back and think, oh my gosh, I failed 100 times. No, you're irritated and you say, I'm gonna do that again. I'm doing this level till I freaking get it. I want my kids to have that kind of mentality, to not quit on themselves, to not keep putting themselves by putting themselves down, and to know that they are not a failure if they don't succeed in what they think. Their love is not a attachment to a goal. And that's kind of goes in that perfectionism and how kids think that they have to prove themselves and earn love by doing what their parent wants. And I never want them to think, well, I'll love you when you get good grades. I'll love you when you know, go to the NBA or become a singer or something like that. It's just their value has no attachment. Their value is that they are alive. That's their value. And then everything from that point on is just lessons on how to help them see who they are, you know. And I haven't seen the Michael Jackson movie yet, all the way. I watched like the first, I don't know, 10 minutes, but just to kind of watch young Michael Jackson be a literal performer for his family, for his dad. And I don't know. It just that breaks my heart so much because not only there's the abusive side to that, but there's also the earn it, do it, and try to please the parent. And that's not a good way to live your life because you can't please your way through life. You can try, but that's a problem because now you think the only way to get the crumbs off the table is to do something incredible, right? Be a great singer, be a great dancer, be a great football player, whatever it is. It's a performance based love, and that's not how it's supposed to be. So I say that to just all of us because we have to remember it's not a scale. It's not a weighed thing. It's like I love you because I love you. And then everything else is everything else. But love is not an attachment to you did good today, you did bad today. You know, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. You guys can hate on me. This is gonna be a video I do on pop culture. Probably I'm gonna say it here. It's the whole idea of like the Santa Claus. Well, if you're bad, you're not gonna get anything. It's a performance base. I get Christmas presents because I behaved myself for 12 months. Are we kidding ourselves? What kid can behave themselves all year? I'm not saying everybody goes that hard, but I don't like that concept that like you'll get presents if you perform, soldier. Yes, drill sergeant. Like, what are we creating there? I'm sorry. I don't like that. I don't like that concept. I don't think that kids should feel that their worth is in this thing. Their worth is nothing to do with what they earned. That's the problem we have. It's not about earning the love, earning this. It's about you are this, and these two things do not go together. You're me loving you and this do not go together. That's all I'll say. Yeah, no shade at anybody who talks about Santa. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad about what they say to their kids. It's your thing. Obviously have personal preference. And my personal thing with anything like that is performance based anything, right? I don't think that that works long term. So I'm sorry, show. I'm sorry. But I don't like it. I'm just being honest with you. I don't like that concept. I don't want my kids thinking Christmas is because they were good. Like your birthday, you're going to get presents if you're good. I just feel like that doesn't teach good long term. It maybe works, it's a tactic for sure, but long term success in your life is going to make you think, I have to perform to get what I want. So, guess what? Now some kids are going to take it two ways. They're always either going to go to perfectionism or they're going to become manipulative. So that way they can manipulate the way through life because they know that they're just trying to please other people anyway. And they don't want to have to do all the things to jump to the hoops. So they manipulate to get what they need because it's all about meeting needs. So meeting needs to come first with our kids. And then everything else after that is extra. But emotional love and care and time and attention, all of that matters. And this other stuff is just lessons in life over time. But meeting their love needs is like the number one thing I see as a dad. And they all have different ways that they receive that. Like Riley for me is she's different than my than Ava, because Riley for me, her and I have a different kind of relationship. Like Ava's more physical touch, Riley's more quality time, and obviously they have a little bit of everything. But like the way I express my love, if I go up to Ava, pick her up and hold her like a baby because she's like 4, and just kiss her and love her, my daughter Riley would love that too, but it's just not going to be the same exact kind of thing, because Riley would love it more if I sat down with her and colored or played a game that she made up or something like that. That would be more loving and make her feel more loved that way. And then with Carter, he's too little for me to truly know, but you know what I'm saying? Like you have to speak their love languages, and you can't just parent everybody the one way. Same thing with discipline. I can't discipline my kids the same exact way because they understand things in a different context. One might just need a break. One might need to just be taken upstairs with just you and them. Like you just never know where it is, but you can't. I feel like every child has to have such different care. So that's how I've always looked at it. But I'm not a perfect dad by any means. I've always found myself wanting to be better, saying I shouldn't have raised my voice, or, I want to make sure I'm not being snappy with my kids or impatient, or, you know, I have tons of flaws as a dad. So it's not like I'm sitting here talking to you as if I'm in this perfect place. These are how I think about how I wish I want to be this way all the time. And I wish I could be this way all the time, but I don't meet, I don't hit it on the head every time. I'm not Babe Ruth knocking home runs every time. I have my days, and everybody does. It's just about the reset. It's about what you do after. It's like, what did I learn? What can I do better? And I'm going to try this. I'm actually going to try this tomorrow and see if I can do better tomorrow. Like, I feel like that's what life is all about. Like that's the best attitude and way to get through your life in general. It's just don't let everything take you down so hard and make you feel so crappy. I don't know. That's how I look at it. But it matters to me to give my kids the best life I can possibly give them. That's honestly, as a dad, that's my goal. Not just monetarily, because I think that's a lot of people's number one thing is like, I want to give my kids the house, the stability, the everything. But I think the most important thing too is like, no matter what circumstance we're in, you're loved and you're safe with me. If they can feel that with me every time, I have won as a dad. If they know they're loved and they're safe, and that they can come to me and that they know I've got their back, dude, that's life. That's all you have. Everything else is dust. You can have millions and millions of dollars, you could have nothing, but if your kids feel that way, you have won the lottery. And then you will be able to continually, improve on your life and your kids' lives, and you'll be able to pass on that stuff. I think that's really important. So I think it's going to be a journey. It's always going to be hard on Father's Day, but I try to be grateful as a dad. I really do. Try to take today for what it is and just enjoy it. Just enjoy what I have with my kids. I'll show you what they got me. They're so cute. So this is, I don't know if you saw in the picture because I put in all the other stuff. This is a custom Death Star. Smells so good. I almost tried to ask you to smell it. That's how disconnected from reality I am sometimes. I almost told you you should smell it. You can't. I can't even describe it. It's not like we have that kind of technology. All right, so this is a pink grapefruit, yuzu, lemon zest, rose water, jasmine petals, pomegranate and amber, sandalwood, Death Star. All green, phenomenal. This is a melt. I'm a candle guy. You guys know that. I'm sorry, there's no light. This is a melt that goes into the melter. I don't know what they're called. Melters. This is a Millennium Falcon. Look at this. Look at this little Yoda. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Yoda. Smells phenomenal. Wish you could smell it, but you can't. Can't smell it. Sorry. But it's for me. It's a Death Star, Star Wars candle, and melts. And I am a smell guy. I am. It just happens. I'm a smell guy. I like having the I like having good smells for sure. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're here for you the best we possibly can. Whatever we can do to be a support to you right now, whatever you need, just let us know as a community. But yeah, that candle is a really good smell. So that's what the kids gave me. I like smells. I think one thing I will say, when you're going through a lot, you got to find joy in the little stuff. It kind of regrounds you when you're going through a lot of trauma. You kind of need something to just like seriously, something as simple as lighting your favorite candle smell, or like going for a walk, or like doing something that just really brings you back to feeling grounded is kind of what you need. I don't know. Oh, don't even get me started. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what other guys say. They be acting like they don't like good smells. Who doesn't like good smells? Are you too manly? Hell no. Good smells are good smells. Sweet pea is one of my favorite smells of all time. I'm just gonna say it. I remember my teacher in first grade had sweet pea hand sanitizer, and I've loved sweet pea since first grade. I'll never forget that. I was like obsessed with the scent, and I didn't know what it was. And then I think later on in life, I understood how scents have a smell, like crayons have a word for that color. And so when I was older, I found out that sweet pea was like the thing I'd always loved the smell of. And so I love sweet pea. I love all kinds of stuff like that. I don't care what anybody says. Friggin' light a candle and take a bath. I don't care how grown you are. That's the best feeling ever. Smells is the best. It's so good. Light a freaking candle. Who doesn't want it to smell good? Like, if you just imagine this, you want to have a well, that sounds really inappropriate. It almost sounded inappropriate. I'm gonna have to say it in a better way. Give me a second to think about the word. If you want to have a brain, I don't want to say the word now. It's an O, a brain O. Okay, it's what happens when you get really good feelings. Okay, I'm not going to be inappropriate today. If you want to have a brain O, clean the house and then light a candle and have the house smell good and it's actually clean. Chef's kiss, baby. Best feeling ever. Clean house with a good smell, with clean laundry. And it goes hard. It goes crazy. Everything smells good and it's clean at the same time. You cannot miss. You want to have the simplest way to make your life feel better and upgrade your life is just to make things clean and smell good. You will feel better. I don't know what it is. That's life. That's life at its highest. You're telling me that like you go into Drake's house and dude's house does not smell good? Like you go into someone's like really nice fancy house. What's the two things it does? It's always clean and it smells good. And you don't even understand why it smells so good. It's beautiful, it's clean, and it smells good. 3 winning factors. I'll tell you that right now. You got to get some candles, man. Get you down to Bath & Body Works. We're plugging them right now. Okay? Get you some Bath & Body Works. Get you a good smell, and you'll enjoy it. All right, guys. Well, I love you. Happy Father's Day. Let your emotions be your emotions. Never right or wrong, really. Just take every day and try to make the most out of it. Like really just try to understand that every day really is a blessing. Like it really is a blessing. We just don't see it that way, but it is. So you got to give yourself the opportunity to see life in the moment. And that is like the most important thing. I think it's the most important thing you could possibly do in life, really. It's just try to be present in the moment and not be too far ahead or in the past, but live in the moment and enjoy it. So anyway, love you guys. Appreciate you. Happy Father's Day. And I will see you guys on the next one.